Hey everybody, I am here with Rae Hoskins from NextGen. She is our technical operations manager. And not only that, she is our internal expert on AI. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about AI. So Rae, welcome. To really get started, I think a lot of people in credit unions, they hear the word AI, but don't necessarily know what it is or what it means. So can you kind of tell us in your own words, what is AI?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that sentiment. In the industry, AI is kind of a black box. You put an input into it, you get an output, and what happens in between is a little bit of the unknown. So that's one of the things that I know at CU NextGen, we've done a lot of advocacy talking about that. But if I had to explain it at a fifth grade level, I would say AI is a computer algorithm that takes your message, your prompt, or your decision that you're asking it to make, and it analyzes that from a lot of different factors. It also depends on the type of AI you're talking about. But the probably most easily understandable version of AI for just an average everyday person would be a large language model. So you feed a prompt into it, that large language model weighs the parts of that question, it assigns them a value, and then it takes that value and it looks at the data set it's trained on. So you can think of it from a credit union perspective like a core. It's our biggest data set that we talk about. It's going to go back and look at that data and say, based on the question and the weighted values in that question, what aligns with this? And so then it takes that and it makes decisions based on those weighted values, based on past experience, and then based on other prompts that you train it against. That decision comes back out the other end of the black box as the prompt that you're expecting. So you can think about it if you ask ChatGPT, what's the weather going to be like here tomorrow? And would it be recommended that I wear a jacket? It's going to look at weather, it's going to look at jacket, and then it's going to say, okay, Clark is in this specific area. I need to recommend, yes, I think based on the weather patterns here, you should probably wear a jacket.
I think that's a great way to put it. So taking all of that information and putting that into our credit unions, how can a credit union truly utilize AI? Like, what are some use cases that you've seen credit unions utilize?
So the absolute most industry-wide use case that we've seen are chatbots. Everybody has them, everybody uses them. Not all of them are powered by AI, but the chatbots that are really the ones taking that member experience to the next level. So those are chatbots that take it from your standard FAQ of, hey, what are my hours, to, hey, what are the hours at this location? And that chatbot responds back and says, the hours at this location are this, but if you need something that's open a little bit later, I recommend this branch instead. It makes those cognitive and smart decisions, just like if me and you were on a phone call, I'm the member, you're the agent, and you're walking me through that conversation. So it takes that member experience a little bit further. Some other use cases we're seeing in the industry that are not as commonly adapted on a wide scale yet, but the credit unions utilizing them have seen massive success, are around loan decisioning and fraud detection. Again, because AI models can take what would take me or you 5 to 10 minutes to process through and think, and do it in a millisecond. And it does it based on data sets that we as the organizations and institutions actually train. So we decide what data we feed them, and then we decide how that data should be interpreted and what value should be applied to it. So it really puts that power kind of back in our hands. And it's almost like training a new employee to work for you. But the cool thing is they come in sort of as a blank slate with the ability to learn at a rapid scale.
Love it. So what are some challenges you've seen kind of credit unions face in trying to implement AI, or what does that look like?
I think the biggest challenge around AI, not even just in the credit union industry, but globally, is implementing it comes with a level of understanding it. And I think a lot of us operate from a place of fear. So if we don't understand something fully, we're a little bit afraid of it, and we're not so trusting or ready to jump on the bandwagon with it. I think there's kind of two sides to that, though. We have some people that don't necessarily understand AI in depth, and so they have that lack of trust in it still and aren't ready to implement it. And then we have others who are so excited about the technology and the advancements that it's making, the way that it can be utilized and the obvious benefits that it has, that they just want AI. But there's not the strategy and understanding behind, how can I apply that? Where does it give me the most return on investment? How can this, instead of looking at it from the perspective of AI is replacing my employee, how can AI give my employee more time back in their day to do the things that really matter, which are those member relationships, which are strategy, growth, thinking of the next step for the credit union? So I think you kind of have twofold to that question as far as the challenges, because as far as scalability with AI, it can grow rapidly or it can stay at the scale that a credit union needs it. It can be applied in a smaller organization and have just as much benefit if you apply it in a larger credit union organization. So I think the biggest challenge is really just still understanding AI and building trust in our industry. But for those that are actually implementing AI technologies, whether that be in a member-facing chatbot, fraud detection, loan servicing, whatever avenue, the implementation piece of it doesn't really come with a ton of challenges as long as you partner with a vendor that understands the models they're building. And I talk about this a lot when I do podcasts and blog posts of you really want to pick somebody that's going to work with you and explain the models, the logic, and the methodology behind it. What type of algorithms are they using? And taking that black box and opening it up for you. Because at a credit union space, we all know we're regulated to the nth degree. You can't not understand how those decisions are being made and one, effectively communicate to your members, which transparency there is so important, but then also come back to an auditor and have that educated conversation on what's going on with inside your organization.
So I know before coming to see NextGen, you do come from a credit union. So is that kind of what you would recommend from a strategy standpoint, is really trying to find that vendor or that partner that can kind of help you on that journey? Or what would be your biggest advice to credit unions who are looking to get started in their own personal AI journey?
I would say absolutely is really doing your research, whether that's a vendor, whether it's something you want to take in-house on your own. I know a lot of credit unions utilize their own developers and they have the staff and employees to do things like that. Or finding a hybrid between that, whether you're an organization that you want a third party to give you the algorithms and the data sets, but you want to manage the other side of what that looks like and how it's implemented. It really truly comes down to that research and understanding. So I think for any credit union who's interested in AI, whether they have an understanding of it as it exists today, or whether they're completely new to it, but they love the idea and the concept of it, one, do your research and understand AI at a level that makes you comfortable with it from a security perspective, from an implementation perspective, and then just from how it works. Because the concept of AI in general is a little bit mind-blowing, and the more you get into it, the bigger that mind-blowing concept gets. And then to your point, truly finding a vendor that will partner with you, someone that has your best interest, your organization's interests at heart. I think it's important for a lot of vendors in the space now, especially getting into AI, you have to have a steadfast understanding of the ethical responsibility behind it, how that impacts our members, how that impacts people's financial lives, because it's vastly different having AI integrated into something and making decisions than it is just standing up a new public-facing website.
Sure.
The impacts there are astronomically different, and the way that it can impact your organization long-term is astronomically different from a risk perspective, from employee morale, culture, from the way your members interact with you. So all of those things need to be considerations. So I think it's very important to find somebody, whether that be an organization or someone that advocates for your organization. The leagues are doing amazing jobs. I've worked with several of them of getting the message out there and helping credit unions understand AI. Is really finding someone who has that one-on-one relationship with you, who can sit down and have an educated conversation, whether that be at the most technical level or whether that be at a 5th grade level, to help you understand, to make sure that you're making the smartest decision for your organization. And then where you implement this goes along with a strategy that best serves you and your membership.
Sure.
Because we can put an AI chatbot in all day long, but that may not be what actually feeds your membership's needs or your organization's needs. For instance, if I put an AI chatbot in, but you're over here running a loan report and it's taking you 6 hours to do that body of work, but you get 3 questions answered by a chatbot, I'm only saving you 30 minutes of your day when I could save you 6 hours.
Sure.
We have to look at that perspective too. So I really do think that's one of the keys, is doing your research and then finding that person that really is going to, I don't want to say handhold, but I want to say handhold and walk you through it as a true partnership.
Yep. Walk you through as a partner and really help you kind of come all the way through to that strategy at the end. Awesome. Well, Rae, thank you for your time and looking forward to learning more about AI.